Are we good to go? Should I start? Thank you. So, namaste, welcome. My name is Deepak Khemani, and it gives me pleasure to be here to be addressing all of you talking about health insurance, especially what is going on in COVID times. Just a minute to introduce myself. I am Drishti Khemani's dad, and I have been in financial services from the last 37 years. Okay. So the day I became 18, that was in 1984. A lot of you weren't even born then. That is the time we have been in financial services. So I've been dealing in everything ranging from life insurance to health insurance to mutual fund, fixed deposit, bonds, stock markets. Have been there, seen it all. Whatever keeps on going up, keeps on going down. And today, the burning topic is about what is happening with COVID and what is happening with health insurance. There are a few very, very important things which I want you to know, learn, and understand. And I want this to be an interactive session. It is not a lecture, it's not me one talking and all of you listening and taking notes. I just got a few slides and I'm just trying to impress upon you as to what is happening in the health insurance space now. Once we are done with that, I want all of you to answer or ask me any question, anything which comes about health insurance policy, which to buy, what not to do, kya hota hai, what is cashless. Ask me each and everything. I will try and answer whatever you ask me to the best of my capability. Having said that, let's see what the health headlines are nowadays in health insurance. What is getting reported now? COVID-19 boost to health insurance sector. COVID-19 has made it very, very profitable for health insurance companies. Now, in the next few slides, I will be saying exactly the opposite, but this is most important. In the first half of 2021, health insurance premium occupied the top slot in the non-life insurance category. What is happening? Because COVID has happened, a lot of people are now more aware. They now understand the need and the importance of having life insurance, of having health insurance. Why? Ever since COVID started last year, in the beginning, there was utter confusion whether, first of all, COVID will be covered in existing health insurance policies. Will the companies pay? Because there was never COVID 1.5 years ago. People were getting treated in hospitals. There were bills of 9 lakhs, 15 lakhs, 18 lakhs, 25 lakhs for the same disease. Nobody knew what is going on. There was utter confusion. Having said that, what is most important is the awareness. Everybody now understands that it is very, very important to have health insurance. This was the only positive news which you saw on the newspaper, the previous slide. All the following slides are going to be a little bit more difficult for us to grasp and understand. Why I'm saying this? Because insurers could face billions of dollars in fresh COVID claims. Now, if 2, 3%, 4% of the population is getting hospitalized, there are big, big claims coming. All this money will come out from health insurers' pockets if you have a health insurance policy. So it is going to be difficult days for health insurance companies. Because of that, chances are health insurance premiums will go up. We will also be paying more for our health insurance policies going ahead. This is very, very important. Insurers are making health and life insurance norms tougher. Previously, if you were a 25-year-old, a 35-year-old, or 55-year-old, you went to a company, signed up a policy, signed a form, they will ask you a few questions. Is there anything wrong with you? Are you taking any medication? Have you ever been hospitalized? Tell us about your life and then we will give you a policy. Now, companies will start becoming stricter. So if you haven't had a health insurance policy up to now, this is the time to get one. As time progresses, it will become more and more difficult to get a fair health insurance policy with good cover. This is what newspapers headlines are screaming. 7 reasons why your health insurance claim is not being settled fully. People are getting admitted to hospitals for COVID. Their bill is 5 lakhs, 7 lakhs, 8 lakhs, but the company is paying them 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs. They are deducting this, they are deducting that charge, they are deducting. What is going on? We'll try and understand. But this is the reality. If a person had a 10 lakh rupee policy, he or she got admitted to hospital for COVID, They spent 8 lakh rupees, but the company only paid them 3.5. This is actually real. This is happening. This is happening with our clients. Then there are processes that if you are unhappy with the way your health insurance provider has settled your claim, you can always go and complain. But why put yourself in a position where you keep on complaining, nobody's listening? Let's make it as simple, as easy as possible for one, people to buy health insurance. Second, if they get admitted, to get the claims so that there are no disputes going ahead. Hospitals denying your health insurance COVID cashless claims. This is another headline which is making news. In the, most newspaper headlines are talking about. You go to a hospital, you have a health insurance policy, there is a cashless facility, but hospitals are saying, no, give me cash just now, otherwise I will not treat you because there is a shortage of beds. If you don't pay them, there are 10 other people waiting in queue. The whole purpose of having a health insurance policy to get hospitalized, to get cashless benefit is being defeated. Why? They are asking you to pay upfront. Pay me 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs. COVID survivors buying health cover for the first time are facing scrutiny. So let's say you never had an health insurance, you fell sick, you contracted COVID, you got hospitalized, you recovered. Everything is back to normal. Now you go to a health insurance company telling them, give me a policy. They will say, wait, I don't know what the long-term effects of getting COVID, recovering from it are. Wait, let me see. Let's see 6 months pass by. Then I will decide whether I will give you policy or not. In that policy, will there be any terms and conditions? Will there be any exclusions? Nobody knows. Multiple problems, multiple difficulties. Recovered from the coronavirus, you might find it difficult to get health and life insurance. Nobody knows what is actually happening. Insurers see huge spike in COVID-19 claims as the second wave sweeps across India. Insurers are finding it very, very difficult to keep up with all the claims which are coming. Are you taking treatment of COVID-19 at home? Whether you will file the claim, whether you will get or not, how to file the claim, what to do, what not to do. How to buy a health insurance policy that covers pre-existing ailments from day one. What should you buy? A greater insurance cover or a policy with a low premium? Nobody knows. These are a few policies of COVID special which have been introduced. I'll touch upon them a little bit later. Now, COVID situation is not sustainable for insurance sector. One of the biggest companies in the health insurance space is saying if this continues, it is going to be very, very difficult for us to be giving health insurance to people. Okay, so I just wanted to bring out these few headlines of whatever is being talked about in the health insurance space in the newspapers as far as COVID is concerned. I spent just 5 minutes telling you about what health insurance is, how it works, how to choose and what not to choose. Then I will open up the room for questions, and I want you to ask me as many questions as possible. One, the purpose of a health insurance policy is this. A health insurance policy indemnifies you against any financial expenses which you will incur on treatment of a particular problem or a disease by hospitalization. It's very, very important to understand that health insurance policies will pay you only if you get hospitalized. There needs to be a problem for which there was a treatment. If you say, I'm not feeling too well, the doctor came to my house, he prescribed me 20 tests and he prescribed me this medicines and now my expenses are 8,000 rupees, chances are you will get zero. The idea is for you to have a problem, you need to fall sick. So there needs to be a problem for which you got admitted to a hospital, you were treated, you became okay, and then you were discharged. That is the process. So a health insurance policy will pay you for whatever expenses you incurred on a treatment. Now, how much health insurance should you buy? Up to 5, 7, 8 years ago, a 5 lakh policy, a 5 lakh health insurance policy was considered sufficient. Why? Because 3, 5, 7, 8 years ago, even if you got a heart operation, a main big coronary bypass, it could happen in 3 to 5 lakh rupees, 5, 7 years ago. Now that same operation will cost you somewhere around 10 to 15 lakhs. So inflation in health treatment is more than 15 to 20% a year, which means if a heart operation this year costs 10 lakh rupees, 5 years later, it is going to cost almost 20 lakh rupees. So even if you have a health insurance policy today of 10 lakh rupees, 5 years later, that 10 lakh is not going to be enough. So it's very, very, very important to have a sufficiently large health insurance cover when you decide to buy health insurance for the first time, whether for yourself, whether for your parents, whether for your relatives, whether for your full family. Having said that, how much is enough? There is no right or wrong answer to this. But if 5 years ago 5 lakhs was reasonable, by that logic, 10 lakhs should be a minimum cover one single person should have. I have in the last few days settled a few claims of my clients who were hospitalized because of COVID, and the claim was 9.5 lakhs. Luckily, he was admitted into a hospital which was under the cashless network. He had a 20 insurance policy, and the 9.5 lakh claim was settled in cash. For every successful cashless claim, for every successful customer, there are at least 3 or 4 unsatisfied customers who will say, my insurance company didn't pay me. This is a very bad experience I have had. Hospital has overcharged me. This will always keep on happening. Having said that, how much cover should be there? A minimum 10 lakh cover is a bare minimum. Bare minimum. My personal cover today is 27 lakhs, which means, God forbid, tomorrow if I'm hospitalized, I know that at least 25 to 27 lakhs will be paid by my health insurance. That's the way I have designed it for myself. I'm not saying everybody should have a 27 or 25 lakh cover, but minimum 5 lakhs. Second, we need to understand that because this problem came up, the government came out with a special corona policy. Yes, a special corona policy which was only for the treatment of COVID. So it was a short-term policy. It had options of 3.5 months, 6.5 months, 9.5 months. By that policy, if you get hospitalized because of COVID, you will get compensated. Nothing else, no other disease. Special standalone COVID treatment policy. So there are policies like this which cover one specific disease. The question which Drishti asked, what is the cashless policy? Whenever you buy a health insurance policy, the company gives you a facility called cashless hospitalization, which means what? You get hospitalized, the company gives you a card. It's just like your debit card. It will have your name, the company name, the policy number. It says, if you get hospitalized, go and show this card to the hospital desk. There, they will facilitate you to see to it that your company is informed. ABCD has come to our hospital. He or she has this policy with you. They are getting hospitalized. Their expenses are approximately X. A mail will go from the hospital to the company. Hospital will approve. Okay, yes, this is the customer I have. The policy number is correct. They have a policy of 10 lakh rupees. You have asked for a 3 lakh. We are approving. Go ahead, treat this person. We will pay you 3 lakh. So what has happened is, you had taken the policy, you got admitted to the hospital. That hospital was a part of a network of that health insurance company. These are called network hospitals, right? You necessarily need to go and get admitted into the network hospital. If you go into any other hospital which is not in their network, there you will not get this cashless facility. You will be paying money out of your pocket, settling the bill, then taking that bill and going to this company saying, I got admitted to this hospital. You did not have cashless facility. I have paid money out of my pocket for this treatment. Please reimburse this money back to us. So cashless, the company will directly pay the hospital. In the reimbursement mode, the company will pay you only after you have paid your bills and have gotten it. Right? Good question. Next, please keep on asking me questions now and then I will keep on answering. Please unmute yourself or you can type it on the chat. Go ahead, go ahead. There have been so many questions, pick my brain. Yes, yes, Geetika, tell me.
Hi, sir. So, on the point that you just mentioned about cashless hospitals, just wanted to confirm that if they don't go to the network hospital, the
Yes,
company cannot deny, right? They
yeah,
will
okay,
they will pay, but it will be after the
yes,
individual pays amount.
yes. Good question. So, the purpose of having a network of hospitals is this company had tied up with these hospitals. They have told them that I am now going to give you money if any one of my customers comes to your hospital. And that tie-up also has fixed the rates of what that hospital is going to charge, which means if that hospital is going for, if that customer is in that hospital going for a bypass surgery, that cost is fixed. The hospital has been told, you can't charge my customer more than 5 lakh rupees or 6 lakh rupees or 8 lakh rupees. It has already been pre-decided by the hospital. Why? This is to avoid problems going ahead, because what and this is not a very good practice, but this is happening in the industry. If somebody goes and gets admitted to a hospital, no, the first question they ask you, health insurance hai kya? If you tell them yes, then your bills automatically get inflated. Any procedure which would normally cost 1 lakh rupees suddenly becomes 2 lakh rupees. Why? Because they tell you, "Tumhare baap ka kya hai?" Company is going to give you. No, no, that is not the right way of, that's not the right system. That is why these companies will make a network of hospitals where they know there is going to be no cheating, there is going to be no overcharging. So my suggestion is, as your question said, if you have a health insurance policy, try and get admitted into a hospital which is in their network. Then there are not too many questions asked. Having said that, if you get admitted to any other hospital, the company is obliged to pay you your expenses later, afterwards, reimbursement. Yeah.
Okay, and just another thing, like as you said that the healthcare industry has an inflation of 15 to 20%, and as you said the rates are fixed. So now what happens? Like 10 years back, if the bill was 5 lakhs, and now the same surgery is 10 lakhs. So do the
Yes.
hospitals like make a claim, or will it just be 5 lakhs for that particular hospital in the
Okay,
network?
good question. Good question. So most of these hospitals and these companies will renegotiate these terms and conditions of being in the network every 1, 2, or 3 years. They will say this commitment, this agreement is valid for 1 year. Next year we will come back, sit together, decide how much inflation is there, how much prices we need to raise. If the company agrees, fine. Otherwise, this hospital will now say, I don't want to work with this company. I'm now opting out of that network. So you will find sometimes that if you have taken a policy and a particular hospital was in that network, 2 years later that hospital has opted out. It's no longer a cashless hospital. You had actually bought that policy because this hospital was close to you, because it was a five-star hospital. You thought, if agar mujhe kuch hua, I will go and get admitted to this hospital. Suddenly, in 2 or 3 years, that hospital is no longer in that network. So this happens. Yes.
Uh, Hello, sir. Sir,
Yes,
Amit.
Amit, tell me. Yes,
Yes, sir.
Amit.
Sir, I have a question regarding the health insurance cover for senior citizens. So typically, the awareness regarding health insurance wasn't there until perhaps 2, 3 years back, and people typically realize the importance of it once we actually, get into the hospital and have to go through the treatment, and then we
Yeah.
are served a large amount of bill. So that is when people realize typically the importance of health insurance. So
Yeah.
my question is, so in case of senior citizens, until now, if say they do not have any cover, or they have a very small cover, say 2.5 lakh rupees, is there some insurer which would also be willing to underwrite the risk with regards to senior citizens? I mean,
Super, super question, Amit. So let's understand this. There is this saying in insurance, in life and health insurance both: buy insurance when you don't need it, because when you need it, you will not get it. Okay? What does this mean? You should be buying health insurance or life insurance when you are perfectly fit, when you are perfectly all right, when there is no problem with you, when your body is in peak working condition, when you are not taking any medications, when there is no hypertension, there is no diabetes, there is no thyroid, there is no problem. Because when you are in perfect working condition, when you take a policy, the company says, yes, this guy is in good working condition, he has maintained good physical health, chances of him or her falling sick are less. we all know the concept of how insurance works, right? It is collective responsibility. 100 people, 1,000 people will pay premium. Out of them, the insurance company knows 10, 12, 15 will fall sick. All the premiums collected by all these people will now be used to pay for the expenses of those 10, 12 people who are going to fall sick in a year, right? Now imagine this. As I age, as I become a senior citizen, chances are at age 35, 40, 45, there will be blood pressure, there will be, diabetes, there will be thyroid, there will be complications, arthritis, cataract, everything will come up. Now, as an insurance company, if somebody who is 55 years old comes to me and says, please give me insurance, I am now thinking that in the next 2 or 3 years, इसका कैटरैक्ट होने वाला है, इसको अगर ब्लड प्रेशर का टैबलेट ले रहा है तो कभी हार्ट अटैक हो सकता है, बाईपास हो सकता है, if he is diabetic, chances of multiple organ failure are there. The first thinking is, let's not give him insurance because he will pay me 20,000 पर मेरे से 2 लाख रुपया 5 लाख रुपया लेके चले जाएगा. That is the underwriter's thinking. I need to have a balance. I need to have some young people. I need to have some middle-aged people. I need to have some senior citizens to make a wholesome portfolio. So initially, it was becoming very difficult for senior citizens to get higher cover policies 5, 7, 8 years back. However, because competition has now increased, there are more health insurance companies in the market. And because they want to expand their reach, they want to make a bigger portfolio, they have now started giving policies to senior citizens people. Initially, it was very, very difficult. They were giving 1 lakh rupee policy. Then they increased it to 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs. Now even 25, 50 lakh rupee policies are being given to senior citizens. Having said that, one, they need to satisfy the medical requirements. Means they need to see how good or bad your health condition is, what sort of medications you are taking. So chances are, if you are a senior citizen, you are on blood pressure and diabetic medication. So company will say, okay, I'm giving you a policy, but for the first 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, depending upon company to company, I'm giving you a policy this year, but in the next 3 years, if there is a diabetes related claim, if there is a blood pressure or heart related claim, I will give you zero. This is called a pre-existing clause. Whenever you buy a health insurance policy and if you have some problem, the company will give you a policy with this clause saying that for the pre-existing diseases which you have when you have come in for the next 3 years or 4 years, I will not pay you anything. The other thing which is come up now very, very clearly, and a lot of insurance companies are doing this, there is something called co-pay. How many of us have heard about co-pay, right? Ankita, good. So what is a co-pay? A co-pay is something that company says, okay, I will give you a policy of 5 lakh rupees or maybe even 10 lakh rupees, but for every claim, you will have to bear 20% or 10% or 15%, whatever the case may be, as co-pay, which means whatever bill comes, the total bill, 20% of that the customer will have to bear out of his pocket. So if he or she has taken a 10 lakh rupee policy and the claim is for 5 lakh, co-pay is 20%. A bill for 5 lakh rupees, the company will pay only 4 lakhs. 1 lakh, that is 20% of the claim, will have to be borne by the customer despite having a 10 lakh insurance policy. When I buy a 10 lakh policy, I am assuming that मुझे 10 lakh रुपया मिलने वाला है. But because the co-pay clause is there, whatever bill comes out, every claim, every time, you will have to bear 20% of this total final bill. So many, many health insurance policies for senior citizens come with the co-pay clause.
This 20% is fixed or does that vary?
It varies from insurer to insurer. Some companies say 10%, some companies say 20%. I have seen 50% also. There is a company which has a 50% co-pay. They are saying, if you are a senior citizen, even if you are 75 years old, I will give you a policy, but you will have to bear 50% of the claim. There is actually a policy like 50%.
Hi, sir. This is Sagar this side.
Thank you, sir.
Tell me, Sagar, yes.
So thank you for taking this session. So I
Anytime.
have two basic questions. One is that what before you take an insurance or before you renew your insurance, you repay. What are the basic questions to ask,
Yeah.
the person you're buying from, and
Yeah.
what is the understanding that as a claimant you should have,
Yes.
having an insurance. And the second one is
Yes.
that, we all get a policy document, which, we take it and you file it, and then that's it. But
Yeah.
we never read it, right? So we just go by the word, the
Yes.
person selling it to you.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what are the clauses that we should read? Because I've tried reading it, but then I just got bored because the language is so tough. So I know other people too. So, what are the clauses
Yeah.
that you should read and, verify what is confirmed orally by the, person telling you or promising
Wonderful
you?
question. Wonderful question, Sagar. Let me confess over here. After having been in insurance for 37 years till today, I have not been able to understand all the clauses in one single health insurance policy. There will come a time when I will also have not known. अरे ऐसा भी होता है क्या? Having
Yeah.
said that, yeah.
Yeah.
So see, there. If you read the terms and conditions of a insurance policy, you will never buy that policy. You will never buy that policy because there is so much over there. I will not pay you for this. I will not pay you for this. If you do this, you will not get paid. If you do this, if you fall sick, Arey Baba, if all this you are not going to pay, why am buying the policy from you? Having said that, again, as I said, no, as the competition has increased, as there are more number of health insurance companies offering you products, they have simplified. Also, the insurance regulator now in the recent past has come out with a common product. It says previously, every insurance company had 3 or 4 different health insurance policies, and every policy had different terms of conditions. So if you go online and check, there are like 58 policies available at your age, and each policy has different terms and conditions. So IRDA said nothing doing, you do whatever you want, but now I want every insurance company to have one product which is common. Common, which means the features of that policy are exactly the same. Whether you buy it from HDFC, ICICI, Bajaj, Max Bupa, Star, ABCD, it's the same policy across all health insurance. It is called Arogya Sanjeevan, right? Having said that, what is very, very important to understand before signing up? One, my preference is never go in for this co-payment clause unless there is no other option. Okay? The co-payment does not make any sense, especially if you are young or middle-aged and if you don't have any other problem. No, don't go in for a co-payment clause. Don't buy a policy which has co-payment. Second, clearly look for a cashless facility, and a cashless facility not with a company which has got 50,000 hospitals in their network, but only 2 hospitals in Bombay. No, I would go in for a cashless facility which has 20 hospitals in Bombay and 400 hospitals pan India. Why I'm staying in Bombay? I want to go and get admitted to a hospital which is nearby. So if I'm looking for a network cashless facility, see to it that that company has got hospitals which are close by to you, which are easily accessible to you. If I'm staying in Bombay and the hospital which is in network is in Pune or it is in Lonavala or it is in Thane, doesn't make sense. I need to have. So I'm in Bandra. In Bandra, I've got Leelavati, I've got Holy Family, there is the Hinduja Hospital, there is Nanavati, there is Kokila Bay. These are 4, 5 hospitals within 2, 3, 5, 8 kilometers of my house. I would select a policy like that. Third, select a policy or buy through somebody whom you trust. Why I'm saying this? A lot of people, especially young millennials now, will go online, will search on Policy Bazaar or whatever other options are there, and they will buy it from there. Why? Because there was comparison. You gave your mobile number, email ID, somebody from there called you up saying, "Sir, ये आपके लिए best policy है, buy it." You bought it. After you buy it, if you get hospitalized, Policy Bazaar is not going to give you service. They are not going to help you file your claim in case of a dispute, follow up with the company. So if you are deciding to buy a health insurance policy, buy it from somebody whom you trust, some agent, some advisor, some family friend, somebody who is close by to you, in your family, in your friend circle. Tap into that. Try and find out someone who has been there, done that, who has the experience, who has the knowledge. 1 or 2 things is there. Third, as I said, if you try and read all the terms and conditions, you will never buy the policy. Fourth, a lot of people make this mistake of buying the cheapest health insurance policy, which means, let's say I'm 35 years old. I went online, I compared, and I found 12 policies. And out of the 12, there is this one company which is giving me this policy at the cheapest rate. So the top policy for a 5 lakh rupees was 20,000. The cheapest policy for that same 5 lakh rupees was 8,000. I will be tempted to buy that 8,000 rupee policy. Why? Because for the same amount I am getting, for if 5 lakh rupee cover, I am just paying 8,000 rupees. So there is this one thing which all of us need to check. This is called CSR. In insurance parlance, it is called claim settlement ratio. CSR, claim settlement ratio. IRDA regularly publishes the claim settlement ratio of insurance companies, which means if a company got 100 claims, out of those 100, how many did it pass? 95, 98, 92. So if you go online and check, you will find companies having 97% claim settlement ratio and 50% claim settlement ratio, and a lot of companies in between. What does this say? This says that this company is receiving 100 claims, but out of 100 claims, it is honoring 97 claims which it's getting. At the same time, there is another company which is getting 100 claims, but it is honoring only 50% of the claims. I don't want to be with a company which has got such a high claim rejection ratio. I want to be with a company where the company sees to it that after selling a policy, it actually pays you when you need it. I'm not saying the company with the highest claim settlement ratio is the best company, but I would still not want to be at the lower end of the claim settlement ratio. I want to be at the, in the top 5 companies. So if there are 20 companies, I would like to be there where it is 95% or 93% or 92%. Then you will never find a company with 100% claim settlement ratio. There is no company which settles all of its claims. Companies will deny claims. And the logical next question should be, why do companies deny claims? There are 2 big reasons. There is a huge reason, a big mistake which all of us do when we are buying a health insurance policy. At the time of buying a health insurance policy, there is a form which you need to be either filling in physically or doing it online. It will ask you a set of questions. Have you ever been hospitalized? No. Have you had a cough, cold, fever in the last 2, 3, 5 years? Did you go for a medical health checkup in the last 6 months? Were you operated upon in the last 5 years? Most of people will just simply keep on ticking no, 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 without realizing or deliberately not declaring to the insurance company that either they have had a health issue before, they have had an operation before, they are on medications just now, and they are saying no to the company. Now, because you say no to the company after receiving your application simply trusts you. It is good faith. Yes, this customer has come to me, he or she has given this declaration. I believe you, let me issue you a policy. A lot of people hide their physical conditions, their problems, their medications which they are taking, and they don't realize that by hiding it now, you will get a policy. But if tomorrow you get hospitalized, there is this one form which all of us as relatives of the person who is getting hospitalized need to fill every time one is admitted to a hospital. It asks you your name, your mobile number, your address, are you on any medication, who's your current doctor, your treating doctor. It asks you all those things. And because we are getting hospitalized, we will have to actually mention, yes, I'm taking 2 tablets in the morning, 2 tablets in the evening. Now, in your form, you've written, I don't take any tablets. I have never had an operation. But at the time of admission of the hospital, you have to tell these things because your treating doctor needs to know whether you are having some condition or not. Once this is mentioned into the system in the hospital, the discharge card will say, Mr. ABCD got admitted on so-and-so date to so-and-so hospital for this problem. We know that he was on so-and-so medicine. This operation was done on his thing last 5 years ago, 3 years ago. He is recovering from this. These are the papers which are now going to go to the insurance company. You told them, I'm not on any medication. I never had an operation. Hospital is telling us that Mr. ABCD has come to us with all these problems. Your claim is going to get rejected. You fight, you cry, you complain to the newspaper, complain to TV, complain to Government of India, Prime Minister of India. You are not going to get that money because it was a contract of good faith which you lied. Because you lied, not only will your claim get rejected, but your policy will also get cancelled. So Be as honest as possible when you are buying a new health insurance policy. Don't hide anything. I hope I have answered your question, Sagar. If there is anything, do ask.
No, yes, pretty much. And in terms of the clauses, it's difficult to like read through the lines,
It's,
right?
it's very difficult. I told you, no, I till today don't understand all the clauses in a health insurance policy, but there are some normal, typical things which they will not pay. This is what we need to know. A lot of people, when they get hospitalized, will have either one of their, family members staying with them on a bed close to them. That is not paid. If you order food in the hospital, that is not paid. There are some consumables which are used when you are hospitalized or when you are getting operated, like gloves, like all these cotton pads. There are knives which are used, blades, some gowns. Nowadays, these PPE kits. If you are getting hospitalized for COVID, some hospitals are charging every person two PPE kits. Now, imagine what is happening. There is a doctor in one hospital which has 20 rooms. This doctor wearing one PPE kit is going to all 20 rooms. Okay? After his duty finishes, he discards that PPE kit. How many PPE kits were used in that day? One. But all these 20 people are being billed for a PPE kit separately by the hospital. Now the insurance company is getting to be told to pay 20 times for one PPE kit. The doctor used only one kit, right? How will they pay every person that same amount of the PPE kit when 20 people paid up their bills to the hospital and then went to the health insurance company? So now hospitals have stopped paying for more than one PPE kit per day. No, so a lot of things, are not to right with the health insurance and the, health insurance companies industry. Hospitals are, I don't know whether you should call it cheating, but doing practices which are not good, which are not honorable, which are not honest. Health insurance companies are doubting कि hospital चोर है, इसका पैसा मैं खुद नहीं दूंगा, मैं इसको काट के दूंगा. So there is mistrust all along the way. The policyholder doesn't trust the hospital doesn't trust the insurance company doesn't trust the insured. That whole circle, nobody is trusting each other. So it's very, very important for all of us to be as honest as possible. There are some things which are not going to be paid. I am yet to see one claim being paid fully. When I say fully, if there was a claim of 5 lakh rupees, I have seen claims of 4,95,900. Why? 100 rupees was the registration charge for the hospital. The registration charge is not paid. The hospital makes a discharge file and it gives you and they charge you 30 rupees or 50 rupees for the file. That is not paid. So there are lots of things which are not payable. We need to understand that these will not be paid. Having said that, if I get anywhere between 90 to 95% of my claim, I should be happy and satisfied.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
So just one question, as you had mentioned that there's a corona policy which just caters to COVID cases.
Yes.
So now
Yes.
what if there are side effects, like people get pneumonia, then the new fungus, like new variants which come up, will that cover those things? Because it's yet like
Oh.
people are still experimenting, like, like new
Yes.
things keep coming up every day. So will that be
Yeah,
covered?
yeah. Good question. Thank you for asking this, Geetika. So let's go back to the beginning. Right when COVID started, in the very beginning, there wasn't a separate COVID policy. It was the plain normal health insurance policy we have, which covers us for normal ailments and hospitalization. As soon as COVID happened, the government, along with IRDA, declared that all existing health insurance policies will cover COVID as well. So they made that very, very clear. Having said that, the government told health insurance companies to come out with a special COVID health insurance policy. Why? There could be people who normally may or may not get health insurance, or there could be people who can't afford normal health insurance, but they could go ahead and buy only the COVID health insurance policy. And the pricing was very reasonable. For a 5 lakh COVID health insurance policy for a 25, 30-year-old, it was only 2,500 rupees for like 6 months or a 9-month policy. Now, there was no concept of black fungus then. They didn't even know that black fungus is going to come. What COVID health insurance policy did was, it said, if you are getting hospitalized because of COVID, you compulsorily need to have a COVID positive test report with you. Now we all know that a lot of bacterial pneumonitis, viral pneumonia falls under the COVID only. It's the same infection inside which goes into your lung. But many a times the test result comes negative. So if you actually had a COVID policy, you were hospitalized and treated for COVID. But if your hospital, that test report was negative, you would be paid zero. That's how the wording is. That's how the understanding is. That is how it works. Now, will a COVID policy pay you for black fungus? No, because black fungus may be a side effect of the treatment of COVID. A COVID standalone insurance policy will pay you only one if you have a positive COVID report, you got admitted to hospital after that, and you were treated and you were discharged after you got a COVID negative. So black fungus का पैसा COVID वाली policy में से नहीं मिलेगा, you will not get it. However, your normal health insurance policy, which covers everything, will still pay you for the treatment of black fungus. So if the question is the standalone COVID health insurance policy better or the normal health insurance policy better? Anytime the normal health insurance policy is better. But if you can afford both, I would say buy both. Come on. Ask me questions and I'm ready to answer. Yes.
Last question, sorry.
Please.
So in the beginning, you had mentioned about those articles and like where in one you said the premiums have risen and like, the health insurance industry has boomed.
Yeah.
And in the
Yeah.
others, it was the opposite. So I just want your perspective, like what exactly is the case? Like now people are getting scared because of COVID and people are buying more insurance policies, or is it that the insurance companies are paying more because more people are falling sick, so they are paying more claims? So what is the, like, are they benefiting or not, basically? Like, what is your viewpoint?
Okay. Let's understand the concept of insurance. Not only health insurance, but how insurance works. An insurance company says, you buy a policy from me, pay me a premium, I will pay you these expenses. Beyond a point, this same company will go to a insurance reinsurer. Most insurance companies, you have heard about reinsurance, right? They pass on that risk to larger, bigger organizations, which are reinsurers. Now, what is happening is, ever since COVID happened, all these insurance companies are now actually being told by reinsurers that your reinsurance premium is going to go up because we never factored in COVID, which is going to happen. This many thousands crores of rupees will be coming out as claims. In other words, going ahead, health insurance premiums are 100% going to go up. Not only the COVID health insurance policy, so your normal health insurance policy is going to become costlier, substantially costlier going ahead. If these companies have to survive, if all of us need to have health insurance premiums will go up. Yeah, the other question, are more people buying health insurance? Yes. Companies' pool of the collection of the premium amount is going up because everybody understands now that it is worth paying 25 or 35,000 rupees as a premium for health insurance and get a cover of 5, 8, 10, 12, 15 lakh rupees. It's worth it. Yes. The answer to both is yes.
I have one question. So whenever
Yes,
we get
Ankita.
health insurance policy, so if we
Yeah.
have dependent in our families, which we
Yes.
should go for individual or a floater
Good.
policy?
Good question. Again, very good question.
And just to add to this question, we should go to a standalone in health insurance policy company, or we should prefer other companies over that?
Again, very good question. So, see, this is the fun of being in a mode where people ask question and answers. Because I could have made a presentation and covered a lot of topics, but this wouldn't have come. Okay, good question. One, clearly, an individual policy will cover only you. A floater policy will cover you or your extended family. So, a normal family floater covers husband, wife, 2 children. That was a classic family floater policy many years ago. Now companies have opened up and they have allowed extended family to come into the family policy. So you can have a grandfather, you can have a grandmother, you can have father, mother, their children, grandchildren. Now they are allowing mother-in-law and father-in-law also to be part of the same family. Now that is, I think, taking it too far, but considering a family concept of, father, mother, and 2 or 3 children, or maybe one child, a floater policy makes more sense. Why? One policy covering 2 or 3 people together, you pay one premium, less hit. And if you split these 4 people separately, and if you count the amount of money you will be paying, you will clearly be paying higher. A floater policy is light on the pocket, comes with a lot of good features, and sees to it that everyone is covered. Having said that, the floater policy has one problem. Let's say you take a 10 lakh rupee policy for 4 people in your family: husband, father, mother, son, and daughter. Let's take a typical ideal family: 4 people. 10 lakh rupee policy, family floater, one policy for the family. Father fell sick to COVID, 10 lakh rupees used up. Now, the mother and the 2 children are left with nothing. Why? Because it was only one policy. It was a 10 lakh policy. He used up the 10 lakh policy, and there is now nothing left for all these other 3 people. This was the disadvantage of a family floater policy, which has now been plugged in. As I said, as more number of health insurers keep on coming, they come out with new features. So now there is something called a refill or a restore benefit. They say if you are buying a floater policy, if one person uses up that full amount, for the other people, the company from its side will add an equal amount into the same policy, so that the other members, if they fall sick, can use up 10 more lakhs. What they are telling you, that even though you have bought a 10 lakh policy from me, if need be, I will give you 20 lakh rupees. 10 if the one person used up the full 10, 10 for the other members of the family. And unfortunately, we have seen in COVID, the second wave, full family getting affected. 3, 4 people from a family are like affected because of COVID. 2 people hospitalized, 2 quarantined at home, or 2 quarantined in a quarantine facility. This is something which I have not seen in my 54 years of my life. All one full family falling sick of one disease, but this is now happening. So a family floater with a restore or a refill benefit is a wonderful policy to have.
Just to add that, so as we have this restoration benefit and refill benefit, there is something called no claim bonus and super no claim
Good
bonus
question.
benefits.
Good question.
So we
Good
should add
question.
that.
So we have an informed crowd over here. I'm so happy all of you young girls and boys know all this and are asking me all these questions. So every time you renew your health insurance policy, and in that year, if you haven't claimed, the company says, okay, one, you paid me the premium on time, you renewed, and you did not claim, I want to give you a small benefit, which means different companies, depending upon which policy they have, will give you either a 10% bonus, a 20% bonus. There are policies which give a 50% bonus also now. What they are trying to tell you is, if you have a 10 lakh insurance policy, last year you didn't claim and you renewed on time, this year I will give you a 20% increase in your sum insured as a bonus, which means from this year your policy is going to become 12 lakhs. You will still pay premium only for the 10. Next year, the same policy will become 14. The next year, the same policy will become 16. Why? Because the 20% bonus for every year is keeping on getting added to your policy. Why? Because you did not make a claim. No claim bonus keeps on getting added depending on which policy you have bought. Some policies say you can't have more than 50% of the original sum insured as the benefit. Some policies say I will give you only 100%, which means this policy which has 50% no claim bonus, if I take a 10 lakh policy this year, no claim, next year it becomes 15. The year after that it becomes 20. The year after that it will not become 25. Once it becomes double, that is where it stops. No more no claim bonus for you, even if you do not claim. So everything which comes for free will have some terms and conditions somewhere. It's good to have a policy which gives a 50% no claim bonus, but also consider everything else before buying into that policy. But every health insurance policy will come with some sort of no claim bonus feature. Yes.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yes.
Regarding the amount of insurance that a person should buy. See,
Yeah.
I've been doing it in from academic point of view a lot, but Indian markets, honestly, I just wanted to understand like how is that mathematics done? For example, a person is, let's say, it depends on salary, it depends on age.
Yes. So there is a matrix which we follow. It is called health insurance planning. It's a small tool, where I sit down with my customer and let's say I tell him, okay, you are now 45 years old and you are buying a 5 lakh health insurance policy. Do this thing, a small exercise for me. If you are 45, chances are in the next 10, 15 years, you will definitely have two cataracts. Chances are you will have some knee operation coming up at 55, 60, 65, whenever. Also, there could be a heart attack. There could be, and nowadays with the amount of different cancer claims we are getting is really a horror story now with what happens. So let's say there are three clear things which are going to come in most of our lives. One, two cataracts are definitely coming after 55. Chances are both your knees are going to get operated. Chances are there may be one heart related issue somewhere. Put up the value of a bypass today, or put up the value of a cataract or a knee operation you want done today. Let's say a knee operation today costs 5 lakh rupees. I'm just taking a random example. Imagine what will be the cost of this knee operation 15 years later. On an average, 4 times because it doubles in 5 years. So, after 5 years it will be 10 lakh. After 15 years it will be 20 lakh. 15 years later you will be 65. You will not be getting health insurance. So plan for that 20 lakh rupee expense, which is going to come 10, 12, 15 years later by taking a 20 lakh policy now. Don't buy a 5 lakh policy and thinking 5 years later I will make it 10 and then I will make it 15. No, 5 years later you will probably have had 1 or 2 operations, or you would have had blood pressure medication or diabetes coming up. You may or may not get insurance. So, as I said, buy a policy today which far exceeds the number you have in your head. Don't think of a 5 lakh policy. Don't think of a 10 lakh policy. Think of the possible claims which can come up for a normal person during his life. Take inflation, plan for 10, 15 years ahead, and take that amount today. This is what I tell my customers.
Okay, one more question, sir. So, for example,
Yes.
like you said that, let's say a person is quite young and we do this mathematics, okay? Like, let's say we
Yes.
have a family of 4 and like we do this mathematics. किसको क्या क्या issue आ सकता है 20 years के बाद?
Correct.
I understand
Correct.
it's good that you take it when you have no problem. That's the best thing.
Yes.
So
Yes.
let's say we take
Correct.
it, right? So
Correct.
and like COVID came, correct? So
Yes.
I think it's renewable also, you know. So terms and conditions change हो गया. Like, so I did not need it any which ways for next 5 years. I was thinking of
Correct.
20 years. I ended up paying higher because I went for
Yes.
a bigger cover. 3-4
Yes.
साल बाद या 4-5 साल बाद जब actually आपको लगता है कि you are moving close to that time period, and then they
Yes.
change their TNC.
Yes.
So and then
Good question. Good question. So very, very good question. And previously, this actually used to happen many, many years ago, 10, 15 years ago. What companies used to do, they gave you a policy. And if you fell sick in this year, they used to come up with reasons not to renew your policy in the policy year you made a claim. Now, government has made this very, very clear. If a policy has been issued some time back and it has been renewed on time, year on year, every year, the company cannot change the terms and conditions of the policy which were there when the policy was issued. So, your question is, will 5 years later the company tell me now I'm not going to pay you for this? No, they can't. It is not allowed. It is not legal. What companies do is this. See, every company will be smart and they will find ways to work around this. So most companies do this. They will say, I have this policy. And after a few years, they will say, I'm migrating you to a new policy with better benefits. And they will take your consent and then they will tell you, yes, I'm doing this, and they will move you from this policy there. Then they may actually can stand up and say, now since you are in this policy, those terms and conditions were not there. That is why I tell a lot of people, if you are with one insurer, don't jump ship. Don't port out. Keep on moving. This year I had with a company. 2 years later, I shifted to another company because porting was there. Now this company is not giving me claim. No. If you have been with your insurer regularly for the last 5, 8, 10, 15 years, you have established a history. You have a history with the insurer saying, 15 साल से मेरा पॉलिसी आपके पास चल रहा है. I have never made a claim. I have always renewed on time. You have given me this no claim bonus. Why are you playing tricks with me? Chances are your claim will be honored and there will not be any problems. So, if there is a takeaway from this, don't jump ship. Don't change insurance companies unless it is really, you were treated really badly or they gave you, a hard time giving your claim. Then it doesn't matter. Then you change. However, most of the companies now understand that it is important to have happy and satisfied customers. So they will not try and do all this. Stay with one company. Don't change. Maintain continuity. Chances are what you are saying will not happen. I was expecting this one question, but nobody has asked me. So let me ask this question and then I will answer it. Now, there is, Amit, ask me.
Yes, sir. Sir, I just had one more question. Sir, sir, I have also heard of something called as a top-up policy.
You took away my question, which I was going to say. Because yeah, good you are. Amit, good you are. So this is something all of us should implement right now into all our health insurance plans. There is this wonderful product now called a super top-up health insurance policy. Super top-up health insurance policy. All of us should see to it that this is incorporated into our planning of health insurance. Let's understand what a super top-up health insurance policy is. We all know about our normal health insurance policy, the way it works. Chances are, if I buy a 5 lakh rupee health insurance policy and if its premium is 20,000 rupees, with the same company, if I buy a 10 lakh insurance policy, chances are the premium is going to be double. Mota moti, very, very close to double, because I'm buying double health insurance cover, correct? Some health insurance companies have now become smart. They are saying, if you buy a 5 lakh rupee health insurance policy, it's 20,000. If you buy a 10 lakh health insurance policy, it is 25,000. Previously, it used to be 40 because you were buying double. Now they are saying, if you are buying higher cover from me, I will give you higher discount. Having said that, if I have a 5 lakh rupee health insurance policy, and if I want to add another 20 lakhs to my health insurance policy because of what is happening in COVID, I now understand that I need higher health insurance cover. If I go and buy a 20 lakh health insurance policy, I will pay 4 times more out of my base policy. Okay? This is simple. Now, something has opened up recently in the last few years. It is called a super top-up health insurance policy. A super top-up health insurance policy gives you a very, very large cover at a very, very small price. So let's say somebody is 35 years old today. He or she decides to buy a normal health insurance policy for 25 lakhs. You probably get it for around 30,000. Around 30,000 rupees. If that same person buys a 25 lakh super top-up policy, we get it for 2,500. 2,500. Where's the catch? If this was the case, everybody would buy a super top-up health insurance policy. Nobody would buy a normal health insurance policy, right? Okay, good question. So, a super top-up health insurance policy comes with something called a deductible. Whenever you buy a super top-up health insurance policy, let's say of 25 lakhs, the company will say the first 5 lakh rupees has to be spent by you. I'm giving you a 25 lakh rupees cover. I will give you only when your claim is above 5 lakh rupees and you have already spent that 5 lakh. Now let's understand. I have a 5 lakh rupee health insurance policy and a 25 lakh rupee super top-up policy. Now I have a total health insurance cover of how much? 30 lakhs, correct? With a deductible of 5 lakhs. This policy is saying, get admitted. If your claim is above 5 lakhs, I will pay you the balance. So, Bhagwan na kare, mujhe COVID ho gaya, I get hospitalized, my claim is now 12 lakh rupees. I have 5 plus 25. This first policy will give me 5. This has a deductible of 5. This fellow is saying, 5 lakh rupees dusre kahin se kharach kiya. Now, I've already spent my 5. My expenses are 12. The balance 7 this fellow will pay. The super top-up policy. So, a main health insurance policy along with the super top-up policy will see to it that your claim is first paid, by your main health insurance policy. It's called the base policy. Once I cross the base, once I cross 5 lakhs, all the balance expenses in that year are now going to be paid by this super top of health insurance policy. 20,000 for this, 2,500 for this. In 22,000 rupees, I have 3 lakh rupee health insurance cover. Wonderful, fantastic plan. A lot of people will not tell you about this. Why? If I'm an agent, if I'm an advisor, and if I make money by selling health insurance policies, if I sell you a super top up policy, मुझे कुछ कमाने को नहीं मिलता है. So a lot of people will not advertise this. A lot of health insurance companies also don't advertise the super top. It is only when you come with people in the know, in forums like this, where you get together, connect with people with experience, they will tell you this is an option which is available. Use this. One more problem with this combination. We all know that whenever there is a claim in health insurance, we will always get one set of original documents from the hospital, correct? If I have two health insurance policies, both will ask for the original claim document. Now I have only one set. I can't give it to both. I will first give it to this one, my main health insurance policy. Then when I go to this other one, they will tell me, "Wahan se mere ko paper la ke do." Now you go to them, tell them I have another health insurance policy. They will certify documents. They will give it to you. Then you go and give it to their policy. Then they will proceed. So one tip: if you are buying a super top of health insurance policy, buy it from the same company which you have your original health insurance policy. If both the companies are the same, you will not be running around and doing this paperwork and this coordination. Iska paper usko deo, iske bill kahan se diya, ye kahan se laya. Multiple problems. I have seen people who have had this problem. One policy from this company and one policy from this company. Why? Because this was very cheap. I bought it online. Okay, you bought it online. Now bhugto. So, see, health insurance, life insurance, things like this is not like buying stocks on the Grow app. Up stock, zero da, button dabaya, aa gaya, demat account. No. Do a little bit of research. Try and understand. Once you've understood the concept fully, get control, get connected with an advisor who can make you understand what this is, what's right for you. Then buy.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Sir, I have another question. Sir, if it's okay, could you let us know probably top three good health insurance companies, which would typically, in your experience, they have been good at settling the claims without, obviously the genuine claims. So, according to you, if you could tell us top three of them, or even one, I mean, that's fine.
Amit, I get this question asked to me almost every day, on some different aspect, almost every day. Tell me the best life insurance policy. Tell me the best health insurance company. Tell me the best mutual fund to invest in. Tell me which bank gives the best rate on FD. Which is the best bond to invest in. Which is the best CFA class to attend. That was, a joke. So the idea was everybody wants to know which is the best policy, best investment, best health insurance company. I'll tell you what, there is no real best health insurance company because I told you about that claim settlement ratio. Let's say I selected a company whose claim settlement ratio is 95%, right? Which means out of every 100 claims, 95 are being honored, but 5 are being denied. Let's say you are one of those 5 whose claim was denied. For you, this is the worst health insurance company because they denied your claim. Even though it had a 95% claim settlement ratio, they denied your claim. For you, it is the worst health insurance company. So, how to find the right company or the right policy for yourself? Not an easy question to answer, but consider 2 or 3 things. One, consider the brand pedigree. Okay? If a company is really from a very, very big brand, it will not like to have people complaining on social media and other channels about their products. Nowadays, make one complaint on Twitter and the company will get back to you and will try to solve your problem. Be it any problem, anywhere. Okay? And I'm an expert on complaining on Twitter because a lot of things happen and I get things done over there. Having said that, go with a big brand, go with a company which is not the lowest fee, because cheapest is never the best. Okay, there is that Hindi mein sasta roye bar bar, महंगा roye ek bar. It's always like that. I'm not saying buy the one which is costliest, but buy the one which is reasonable to your pocket. One. Third, buy from somebody whom you can trust. Don't buy it just because there is an ad continuously being flashed on your mobile phone, or you're seeing ads when you are watching YouTube or Netflix. No, don't just buy it because there is an ad which is being flashed to you. Buy it because you are convinced this is right for you. And as I've said previously also, buy it through somebody whom you trust. Buy it through somebody who you know will not cheat you, will make you understand what are the pros, what are the cons, because there is no perfect health insurance policy. Every policy will have something where they will either not pay you or pay less, or some condition will be. There is no perfect health. Having said that, because you have asked the question, I'd say there are 3 or 4 companies, and this is the feedback I have got from hospitals. I asked them, तुम्हारा जो cashless है, which companies give you your money on time? 2 or 3 names always come up. People say Max Bupa is doing well, Bajaj is doing well, at some point ICICI, and maybe even HDFC and Star. So I'm just throwing out a few names. I'm not saying these guys are the best, but speaking to hospitals, these are the few names which they say कि ये company claim जल्दी settle करती है या cashless बराबर time पे hospital को देती है. So finally, if I'm interested in my claim getting settled faster, I think these 4-5 health insurance companies are good companies. And there is one question which I forgot. I think Ankita or Deepika had asked. Should I buy health insurance from a standalone health insurer, or should I buy it from a general insurance company? Okay, good question. So understand that health insurance is offered by one general insurance company. General insurance are companies which give you life cover, health cover, fire, marine, shop insurance, earthquake insurance. That falls under the general insurance category. They also sell health insurance. And now in the last 10-15 years, we have this new concept called standalone health insurance company. This is one company which does only health insurance. It does nothing else. It has got no other general insurance business. Star Health hai, Max Bupa hai, Aditya Birla Health Insurance hai. I think there is one more. I'm not too sure. There are 3 or 4 or 5 of them which are, yeah.
Is it Care Health Insurance?
Care Health Insurance. Correct. It was called Religare previously. Yeah. Now they are Care. Yes. So these are standalone health insurance companies. Their business model is only health insurance. They don't do general insurance, fire, marine, earthquake, some shop and cars. That they don't do. They do only health. So if there was a preference, I would say a standalone health insurance company is good, because that is their job. They are doing only health insurance. So I would go there.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Amit, thank you. Welcome.
I have just one question. It's from
Ask me too.
perspective. Like it's from a
Yes.
perspective. So when you decide that you have to, like you have a customer, what are the questions you should ask them? Like if you are giving them health insurance, what are the basic questions of what are the things that you should keep in your mind while deciding health insurance for a person?
So your question is more as an advisor, if you are advising somebody for health insurance, correct?
Yeah, basically I have started my career into life and health right now. So into
which company? Which company?
Motilal Oswal.
Oh, Motilal Oswal as a sub broker, somebody you okay. Good question. So
what are the basic things you should keep in mind?
Yeah. So let's understand this. If you are working as an individual, as me, okay, as I work, government rules mandate that you can work with only one life health insurance company. So I work only with LIC. If a customer comes and says, I want to buy a life insurance from HDFC Life, ICICI Life, I cannot give them, because my rule says that I can sell only one health insurance, one life insurance company. The rule also says that I can sell only one general insurance and one health insurance policy. What Ankita is saying is she is now part of a corporate broker. A corporate broker is allowed to sell insurance policies of any company. So if I am her client, I can buy Bajaj, I can buy ICICI, I can buy HDFC, I can buy Max Bupa, I can buy Star, whatever. That is a corporate. I'm an individual, right? So now she is asking, what should I tell a prospective customer or ask him or her before deciding what best policy is for her? Unfortunately, in the market, what is happening is a lot of people tend to sell that insurance policy where they get the highest commission. Unfortunately, this is the truth. This is happening in the market. Having said that, if you are truthful and honest to what you are doing, your customer will fall in love with you, and will keep on giving you business forever. So just connect with the customer and try to find out one, his financial position and ability to pay insurance. This is most important. If I tell him you have to pay an insurance premium of 35,000 every year, and chances are it will go up 3 or 5 years later, if it is going to be 50,000 rupees a year, does he or she have the affordability to pay? Yes, go ahead. Second, how much insurance does he actually need? As I said, up to 5 years ago, 5 lakhs was good. I don't think 10 lakhs is enough just now. Even then, nowadays, I still get requests of somebody who walked into my office the other day. He said, मेरे को 3 लाख रुपए का policy लेने का है. I said, I don't want to sell her 3 lakh rupees insurance policy for you because that is not right for you. This is wrong. This is not enough insurance. He said, I will go and buy it from somewhere else. I said, no problem. Go ahead. I think you need, this is my advice to you. This is what you should be doing. He finally went and bought it from somewhere. That is not the point. The idea is I was trying to give him advice as to what is right for you. If I'm an advisor, it is important for me to tell my customer, this is what is right for you. Never sell too much insurance. I met a few people other day. He said, now there are companies offering health insurance up to 3 crore rupees also. You can actually buy a 3 crore rupee health insurance policy. Who would buy a 3 crore rupee health insurance policy? Amitabh Bachchan, Virat Kohli, somebody like that. Now, why will I buy a 3 crore health insurance policy? A 3 crore health insurance policy probably has a premium of 2 lakh rupees. One, can I afford 2 lakh rupees a year? Second, do I actually need a 3 crore rupee health insurance policy? For those who are NRIs, for those who are CEOs, those who are executives, for whom the company is paying the premium, yes, it makes sense. So you need to decide one, his affordability. One, second, his need, how much he needs. Third, then you decide which company. So before you recommend a company's product, I think you will need to take time to understand the products of all these companies. Since you are in that space where there is a lot to offer. So study each company's product, the pros and cons. Then for yourself in your mind, make up, okay, so at least these are the 3, 4 which I think are good for my customer. Then give him a choice. Let him decide what's good for him. This is what you should do.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Drishti doesn't have any questions because she has an in-house person who will always answer.
Sir, Amit here.
Yes,
Sir,
yes, Amit.
sir, if you don't mind, sir, can I
Yes.
ask you one question on term life insurance?
So I don't mind answering any question on any insurance as long as everybody is ready to listen to it and hear it. Yeah, tell me.
Okay. Sir, so you had mentioned for health insurance, typically, if we go and compare the premium of various health insurers, that might not be the best way to choose a particular insurer. Now,
Correct.
because different companies could have different terms and conditions.
Yes.
So, but with regards to say term life insurance,
Yeah.
typically, as per my limited understanding, there
Yeah.
could be no difference in terms and condition for various insurers. So
Yes.
therefore, will it be right for me to simply look at the premium and
Yes.
obviously the brand as well? I mean the
Yeah.
insurer as well. But
Yes.
so therefore, if we have 2 or 3 good brands, can I
Yeah.
straight away go for the one which is having the lowest premium? Because
Good question. Good question. So sorry to have broken you up, but I understand what you're trying to say. I want to ask you one question, Amit.
yes, sir.
Can you put on your camera?
So actually, sir, I'm outside.
Chalo, doesn't matter. What phone do you have? Brand mobile phone do you have, Amit?
I have MI.
MI. Okay, and it costs you how much? 10,000, 12,000?
Yeah, around 14, perhaps 12 or 14.
14. Chalo, let's take 14,000, right? Before you bought it, you must have definitely gone online to check what models are available, what is the price.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. I am 100% sure that the day you checked these models online, there was a Realme available at 11,000 and there was a Micromax available at 8,000 rupees.
Yeah.
And the Realme and the Micromax still gave you a mobile phone. It still had a screen. You could still talk. chat, have WhatsApp. You did not decide to buy the 8,000 phone. You decided to buy the 15,000 or the 14,000 phone. Why?
Uh, so, I mean, in my case, it was because my wife insisted on buying this. I had no other reason, I guess.
Now, this is one reason which I cannot object to. I mean, if your wife is telling you have to buy this. But
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just looking at Ankita and Juhi, who thankfully had their cameras on, and both of them were smiling when I gave you this mobile example.
Yeah.
And ma'am was also smiling. See, it's like this. In the end, it's always a personal choice.
Yeah.
And if I mean, health insurance or even term insurance, your logic is extremely correct. That as far as the terms and condition of a plain simple term insurance policies are concerned, they can't be different, right? So should I take the low risk? I would still not take the risk. I would still go for somewhere in between. See, as I told you, one, go for the brand which you trust. Second, it should be gentle and kind on your pocket. Don't buy the most expensive one, but don't buy the cheapest one. The cheapest one is cheap for a reason. I'm not saying a cheapest policy is bad. I'm saying the cheapest policy is cheapest for a reason. So I think you have the answer to this.
Yeah. Okay, fine, sir. Thank you, sir.
I
Yeah.
have just one question here.
Yes, Ankita.
Nowadays we are seeing there are a lot of endowment policies coming up.
Yeah.
Different. So
Yeah.
what we said, either we should go with a term policy or an endowment policy. Like what you
So
said.
I think all these questions are suggesting to ma'am that we should now have a life insurance session next time after having done this health insurance
Because life
program today.
life insurance is way too vast. No, so it's very
Yeah.
confusing to understand.
I can talk for few days altogether, 9 morning, 9 to 5 on life.
I think we've any more health insurance questions? I think
Yeah.
we'll arrange life insurance maybe later. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I know
Thank
this
you.
this actually would have been a paid kind of a advice that you've given to us. Really, I appreciate that. Because I'm sure everybody understands that nobody gives such advice for free. You took out the time and enthusiasm as well. That is also learning. So really, thank you for this thing. Anybody else? Anything on health insurance?
So till anybody decides or thinks what to ask, I would like to say thank you to everyone for attending. Second, participating. You can decide to attend, mute your mic and close off your camera and just be there, showing as a participant. What is important for me is when you ask a question and I replied back, there is a repository of knowledge which is there inside, but I am unable to tap all of it in the in half an hour or 1 hour and tell you what is there. The more questions you ask me, the more easily it becomes, for me to give you that knowledge for you to understand what is to be done. There is so much more we can talk upon health insurance. I can, whenever we have the time next, we can actually have a formal presentation, what to do, what not to do, how to select this, that. But it's good that we can have this interaction one-to-one. It's easier this way. I like this way. I like it this way.
No,
And
certainly, this is
yeah, I
after
mean,
such a long time. I saw a very interactive session. So मेरा तो interaction इन लोगों से बहुत कम होता है. It's a monologue, but it was so nice
Yeah.
to see so many of them connecting to you. Believe me,
Yeah.
इन लोगों को भी पता है इतने time के बाद हमने इतना interactive session देखा है really.
No, and it is important for all, especially these young students, who are growing up, who are in the financial space. The problem with our curriculum, and with all due regards to CFA and whatever else is being taught in CFP and everybody else, the theory in personal finance insurance is such a bland topic. Oh, पढ़ने को और सुनने को मजा ही नहीं आता. It is just terms and conditions, just legal requirements. वो मजा ही नहीं आता. You don't feel like even going studying or understanding or actually making a business out of it. Once you can have an interaction like this, on one-on-one, making us understand what is right for us, trying to understand the terms and conditions, then it becomes a little more fun. फिर मजा आता है. I could have given any other example. The idea of giving that mobile phone example for a term policy was exactly that. Just trying to make two and two things match. So,
No, that is actually, it was nice because you had that enthusiasm to allow us to ask so many questions. So I think,
I get people who are carrying a 1 lakh rupee iPhone in their hand and tell me, मैंने सबसे सस्ता वाला term insurance policy लिया है. That is when I ask them, तुमने सबसे सस्ता वाला mobile phone क्यों नहीं लिया है? Why are you carrying a 1 lakh rupee mobile on your hand? So then they are unable to answer.
that's right. Okay, then people, I think are we done? Thank you so much, sir. काफी लंबा सेशन अब एक्चुअली हो गया है. I'm sure आपको स्केड्यूल हमने खराब कर दिया होगा थोड़ा.
नहीं नहीं, आज टाइम था इसीलिए that I could make it. Thank you so much for having me here.
No,
And going ahead, at any given time you want me to address either this gathering or any other gathering, I'm open. You can connect.
Sure, sir. I'll connect you on paid platforms. Now
All
that-
on any social media platform, especially on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. Search for Deepak R. Khemani and then I'm there.
It was a privilege, sir. Thank you.
I'll switch off the recording because I have pressed the recording button.
Oh yeah. That's right.